Hello, welcome to 12.4, or sorry, 12.5. Here are the answers for 12.4, simplifying rational expressions. Had some factoring and some reducing. In case we did problem solving, these are the answers for problem solving. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. So this may or may not be relevant. Okay, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Today what we're going to do is just focus on multiplying, and then basically it's a 2-day lesson. Dividing is identical to multiplying. You just multiply by a reciprocal. So I'm just going to split it into 2 days, give you guys a little extra time with this to process this. When you're multiplying fractions, you just multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So you're going to see in this example right here, when I multiply the 3 times the x plus 2, I'm not going to distribute it to be 3x plus 6. You actually want to keep things as factors. Factors are good for this. And the reason for that is it allows you to reduce things. So what we're going to do here is you can do one of two things. One, you can just multiply straight across 12x to the 4th over 36x to the 4th. And then you can begin to reduce, like the x fourth divided by x to the 4th is 1, and then 12 divided by 36 is 1 over 3, and that'd be your answer. Another thing you can do is anything on the numerator and the denominator you can reduce. So like the 6 and the 12 you could reduce to 1 and 2. And then, you know, the 2 reduces with the 2, and then you have x squared over 3x, and then you have x squared over x to the 3rd. Well, x squared reduces with 2 of those, and then this x squared reduces with that x and that x, and you end up with 1 over 3. So you can do it that way either. I think option A, multiplying and then reducing, is a little bit easier. So that's what I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do is 30y to the 6 over 40y to the 6, and I notice that those reduce again. 30 divided by 40 is 3/4. And then this one over here, 7z to the 5th over 14 times 4 is 56. Z to the 4th. So 7 divided by 56 is 1 divided by 8. And then z to the 5th over z to the 4th is z to the 1st. So z divided by 8 would be your answer. Okay, and then you get into problems like this where you need to factor them first. Here we have a bunch of binomials and trinomials, so I'm just going to start factoring everything. 3x comes out of the first one, x plus 1. I'm going to take a 4 out of here, and I'm left with x squared minus 6x plus 9. This is factoring the GCF first. Then what I'm going to do is factor out the trinomial. So 4 times x minus 3 times x minus 3. I'm going to write that out there. That's just factoring using the box, or just kind of just factoring the trinomial. We've been working with that a lot this year. And then on the top, x minus 3, x minus 1 for this guy right there. Now on the bottom, I'm going to factor out the GCF. X comes out of there, and you're left with x minus 1. Now you're going to just start reducing, just like we did before in 12.4. So I see an x minus 3, and an x minus 3 on the top and the bottom, that equals 1. And I see an x minus 1 and an x minus 1, that equals 1. And I see an x and an x. So I have 3, and then x plus 1, and then 4, and then x minus 3. And that would be my final answer. Okay, and then here's multiplying by just a normal number. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to put this over 1 and make it into a fraction. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by factoring the bottom, x plus 3, x plus 2. And then on the top I have x plus 3 over 1. And what I notice is that I have an x plus 3 over an x plus 3, so those reduce. And I have 5x on the top. X plus 2 times 1 is just x plus 2, and that would be your answer. Okay, I just have a couple more examples I'm going to go over, and then that's going to be it for today. I'm just going to factor all these and then reduce. So on the top, I'm looking at x plus 2x minus 1. And this is why I said factoring is such an important skill. You really can't do this lesson if you don't know how to factor. Factor the GCF out of the denominator on the second one. Factor the GCF of the numerator. And factor out the GCF out of this one first. GCF being 5. And then after we factor out that, then we can factor the trinomial, x minus 2, x minus 1. And then I'm going to start reducing. Let's see, I have an x plus 2, and an x plus 2. I have an x minus 1, and an x minus 1. I have an x, and an x. So 2 times x plus 1 divided by 5 times x minus 2. They're kind of fun questions. I'm going to put this over 1. Let's see, the only thing I have to factor is the bottom there, so that's kind of nice. Everything else is already done. W minus 4, and then w minus 3 times w minus 4 over 1. And the w minus 4 is reduced. So I have 2w to the second over w minus 3. And there you go. So that's what you guys are going to be working on today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and talk to you then. Thank you.